Hello and welcome to today's special lesson. So, in this lesson, I'm going to show you all the secrets of an Afrikaans first additional language paper. So, the intention behind this is to show you that there isn't a reason why you should be failing this paper because everything that you need is available either at your school or on the internet. So, it's just a matter of putting it in the right boxes and making sure that you can pass each section. So, as you can see, there are 3 sections every time. So the marks can range from 70 marks all the way to 100 marks. Usually in the last final exam, there will be 100 marks or just in grade 12 or grade 11 and 12. It depends on your school and your district. All right, let's get started. So here's what you need to know. To avoid any surprises, you need to know what to expect. And that's the whole purpose of this lesson. If you know what to expect, you know what to prepare. The structure of the paper stays the same. And this is the part that if you don't prepare, you get surprised by everything that's in the paper, but there isn't a reason for that because essentially everything stays the same. The only difference is the material that they give you that they ask the questions from. But the questions themselves and the topics that they ask, that stays the same each time, every time. You need to do at least 5 past papers. Like that's the bare minimum of past papers that you need to be able to do to consider yourself ready for the test. Now, you're lucky because a couple of years ago, you did not have access to past papers per grade. Maybe there could have been past papers for matric, but that was about it. But you have access to the internet, you have access to AI, you have access to all these cool things that makes this super doable. While you're doing your past papers, you must make sure that you're doing them under exam conditions. There is no point in you doing a 2 hour paper in 5 hours. There's also no point in you checking the answers every single time you figure out a section because you have to do the entire paper, mark the entire paper, and give yourself a fair point. Because what I love about language is that especially in the second and third section, you can't there can only be one right answer. So there won't be a way that you won't know whether you did the right thing or not. It's also important that you learn from the mistakes that you make during each attempt. So don't go to the next past paper without learning what you need to learn from the previous past paper. The best way to do this, if let's say you got less than 16, which is the pass requirement for the last section. If you have less than 16, the best thing to do is to write down all the topics that you got wrong and then focus on those topics and learn the rules of those topics so that the next time you do the following past paper, you won't make the same mistake as you are making because it really won't take all 5 attempts for you to know what you're struggling with. It will take 1 or 2 papers for you to figure out that, hey, maybe I have a problem with plurals or maybe I have a problem with synonyms, etc. Don't study what you got right. A lot of students do this, and I have to admit, I used to be one of them. Sometimes you study what you already know so that you can feel good about it, but that is a complete waste of time. If you already know it or you already get it right, then that's not something you should study again. You need to only study the things that you know you don't know and figure out a way or a system for you to remember them during the test. If you don't understand Afrikaans, you obviously need to do more Afrikaans work. Either you read a story that's in Afrikaans, or you speak to your teacher in Afrikaans, or anything that will help you learn. Okay, because anyone can learn any language. For example, I'm trying to teach myself Spanish right now, and the best thing to do, because nobody else around me speaks Spanish, the best thing to do is to find someone that I can have conversational Spanish interaction with, so that I can learn more of the same of the language. Because if I don't do that, all my learning is not being used, and that also will demotivate me. So it literally cannot get easier than what it is now. Afrikaans Fall has really adapted to make it easier for the student to pass it. That's why the pass level is so ridiculously low right now. But at the same time, you shouldn't. That's not what you should be striving for. You should be striving for passing it at least with 50%. So it has never been easier than it is now to obtain that. And with all the information online, you truly don't need a teacher. You just need to be disciplined enough to be your own teacher and to be wise enough to know what it is that you need help with and where to get that particular help. All right, let's get started. So the structure of the paper stays the same, and here I'm going to teach you what is required, and you need to know what is required as well. So the first two sections, section A and section B, this tests your understanding or your comprehension. You'll see that you'll be given either like an article or like maybe like an infographic, something like that. They want to know, what did you understand from this thing that they're giving you? It's the same as you watching Afrikaans news. Let's say at 7 o'clock you watch Afrikaans news, and then maybe the segment is done by 7:15. You need to be able to interpret what happened in the news to somebody else, in order for you to show that you understand. Remember, the best way to show understanding is for you to explain it to somebody else, because if you can't explain it to somebody else, then you yourself did not understand it. The lower part of the test, section C, this is for your understanding regarding rules and basically regulations of the language. And this can be tested in words and also in sentences. To pass the first two sections, you must increase your general knowledge of what happens around you and understand what the question is asking. So the only thing that will change is the information that you're given. What will not change is the type of questions that they ask you. If you put 5 papers next to each other, you'll see that in most cases, the first question is always what or what. So it's either what or V. So what happened or who did what. So it's always the same. The questions are the same. All you need to do is know how to answer which question in what way. For example, if you're asked how many you feel and you answer in terms of where, that shows that you did not understand the question. But if you understood that they're asking you a number and you're answering a number, you're already further than someone who will answer like a place on a question that needs a number. I hope that makes sense. All right, then the second section, section B, even though it's the same as section A, here it's all about being able to retell the same story, right? But in this way, you do it in a summary. So it's like a giant piece of direct and indirect speech. Someone says something to you, you make it shorter to tell it to somebody else, but cut it way, 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 way down. So if you use their words, you won't get more than 7 out of 10. And if you use your own words, which is the most important part, you will learn how to get 10 out of 10. But I have a tutorial on this that teaches you step by step in how to achieve that 10 out of 10, even if you don't speak Afrikaans. In order to pass the last section, you must be able to recall the correct versions of words. And in order to do that, you must learn the rules of those words. So, for example, learning the rules of plurals, learning the rules of synonyms, learning the rules of diminutives, all of that stuff. And you must be able to construct a sentence and different versions thereof, meaning you must be able to take a sentence from the past tense into the present tense into the future tense. You must be able to combine sentences using conjunctions. You must be able to know how to take a sentence from active voice to passive voice, etc. Here are the pass requirements. In order for you to pass the first section out of 30, you need to get at least 12. In order for you to pass this section, you must get at least 4. But I promise you, if you watch my tutorial, there is 0 reasons why you should get 4 out of 10. You must at least get 8, 9, or 10. Then the last section, you need at least 16. Now, if you target only the points or the questions that count 2 marks, like direct and indirect speech, active and passive voice, negative form, all those things, you will be able to pick up most of your marks just by learning the sentence structures alone. The rest, where you're going to pick up one marks, that is very, very easy to study per topic as well. So how would you prepare to get these pass requirements? To be honest, if you watch all the tutorials that I give you, then you should be able to get 24 out of 30 for this section, which is the 80% that you need to get a distinction for this test. With my summary tutorial, you are guaranteed to get a 10 out of 10, or at least a 9 if literally you missed one thing. And with the language tutorials that I've posted, especially on the topics that count 2 marks at a time, you should be able to get more than 30 for this particular section. And that will guarantee that you get 80% overall for this paper, which is completely doable even if you don't speak the language. Now, how do you prepare for this? For the first section, you need to understand question types. Wie, wanneer, hoeveel, watter, waarom. Like, they are always going to ask that. Okay? The faster you get comfortable with that, the better. You also need to understand mark allocations. If 2 marks are allocated, you must do way more than the minimum. There are people who look at the question and then copy the exact same words, go fetch that from the text, and that becomes their answer. You can do way more than that. You can attempt to understand what is being asked, especially if it's a two-part question. They'll also put true and false questions in this type of section, and that also sometimes will require motivation, which means that you can't just say true or false. You must say true or false and also motivate your answer. To prepare for the summary, in my opinion, you just need to understand the core message. So sometimes the summaries will be about how to save water, how to save petrol, or how to save something, electricity. So if you understand what the core message is about, you immediately go into the mode of being able to shrink your sentences. And in order to do that, you need to follow my method, which is always starting with verbs, eliminate the unnecessary. For example, if they say something like save water so that in future, the future part doesn't matter. That's what I mean by unnecessary. And also follow the instructions to the letter. For example, if they ask you to write in a paragraph and you write in bullet form, or they ask you bullet form and you write in paragraph, you did not follow the instruction, and they can take marks away for that. If, let's say, you are asked to number and you didn't number, that's also a problem. If you are asked to indicate how many words your summary was and you didn't do that, that's also a problem. So follow each instruction to the letter. Then you need to understand the rules. All grammar is based on rules that don't change. I can't say this enough. So either you cram the same work 4 times a year until you're done studying, or you study it once, know the rules, and know it forever to such a point where you can literally walk into the test without preparation because you already know everything. So this section is completely under your control, and it is all rule based. What's nice about the rules is that they also give you the exceptions, the ways that they can trap you. It's already laid to you beforehand. The only people who need to study are people who are doing home language. And in my opinion, there is no need for anyone to do any studying for foreign languages. And that is all. That is all the preparation you need to pass this paper with 80%, even if you don't speak the language. This is so important. And by not speaking the language, I don't mean you don't know one Afrikaans word. I mean, if, let's say, you can't converse in Afrikaans, you can still learn words individually. And in order to do that, you must put in some effort in order for you to master that. So follow all the playlists that I've created that are revisions for the exam. And also feel free to ask any questions or request topic overviews in the comments if there's something that I haven't covered. So far, I've covered the most requested questions, and so far I've gotten really great feedback on them of how they've been helpful. But if there's something you can see that isn't there, please let me know, because I would love to help you with that, because the ones that are there are based on what I know people struggle with, but you might have something specific that you might need help with. So whether or not you have a teacher, you can be your own teacher when it comes to this, but it's all about preparation and just sitting down for 2 hours at a time, or maybe like multiple 2 hour sessions to get this work under control. But do not go write the test or exam without at least doing at least 5 past papers. That will help you to see that what I'm talking about is true and that the structure doesn't change. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you need anything else, let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.